I am joined by Aurel Braun. He's a professor of international relations and political science at the University of Toronto. Aurel, good to see you again. Now, for weeks, reports from the ground have been spreading about an imminent Russian offensive. Where are we at in the lead up to this next phase of the conflict?
It appears that the Russians may have begun this offensive. They are throwing all the troops they can. There are now a vast number of Russian forces in the eastern Donbass and in the southern part of Ukraine that has been occupied. They had launched a massive attack on Vuhledar, where the Russians did very, very badly. And the approach by Vladimir Putin seems to be to use quantity as much as possible. In other words, he's throwing as many Russian bodies at Ukrainian defenses, hoping that the Ukrainians will run out of bullets before Vladimir Putin runs out of bodies.
And what are Russia's plans and goals, and how do you imagine it all playing out, do you think? Can Russia succeed?
Vladimir Putin continues to gamble. The consensus increasing in the West is that Putin is not likely to win. But the question is, can he be made to lose in a meaningful way, where he has to negotiate a viable peace? Vladimir Putin seems not to be convinced of that. So part of the meeting that was held recently at the Munich Security Conference, where many of the Western countries were able to talk to each other, the foreign ministers were there, was to show unity, to show determination, to try to convey the message to Vladimir Putin that he is going to lose this war, but it has to happen on the ground. The message is not enough. The Ukrainians have to succeed in terms of pushing the Russians back, and that has not happened now for a while. The Russians now seem to have a huge numerical advantage. It's a tenuous situation.
So what does this push mean, from Russia as the war approaches its first year anniversary? It wants to try and retake Bakhmut, but, what does that mean in terms of Russia's strategy moving forward?
Even if they took over Bakhmut, it would not dramatically change the picture, but it would be symbolically important. Vladimir Putin could market that as a great victory. But there can be a Pyrrhic victory. How much would he lose? Would he then be able to withstand a Ukrainian counteroffensive? Ukraine has now been promised some very sophisticated, really important sort of armaments from the West, but the problem is that the Ukrainians cannot fight with promissory notes. They have to have peace on the ground. So they are training on Leopard tanks. That could have been done months ago, but it wasn't. They are asking for additional artillery, and they're hoping to get aircraft from the West. So a great deal depends on what kind of external help Ukraine gets: political, economic, and military. Russia is clearly using all of the resources that they have. They are not only reckless with Ukrainian lives, but Vladimir Putin does not seem to care very much about the lives of Russian soldiers themselves.
Okay, Aurel, we'll leave it there for the time being. Thank you for that. Aurel Braun, Professor of International Relations and Political Science at the University of Toronto.